Hey guys, this is Kami Ken, and in making manga and webcomics, no two chapters are alike, and I am finding that out the hard way. I could sense that chapter 3 of my webcomic Saintly would be harder to make than chapter 2, but I didn't quite anticipate exactly how hard it would be and how long it would take. Chapter 2 took only 35 days from the start of pencils to the finish with colors and lettering. 35 days. And I was working straight through and making good time. And I knew chapter 2 would be simpler to create. I knew I could create it in a timely fashion because there were less thinking elements. There were less things that I needed to reference to create chapter 2. It was just less work overall, even though I was working day and night throughout that entire 35-day period, outside of a couple of breaks here and there after milestones of finishing pencils or inks. The subject matter was so much simpler than chapter 1, which took 10 months to create because I was working a job, and some days or even months I wouldn't even work on the comic besides a few sketches here and there. But for chapter 2, because I had all the time in the world, and because the scope of the chapter was limited to 4 characters maximum in one location where the floor was tiles and there was a single desk and empty walls, I was like, oh, this is a cakewalk. This is a piece of cake. Super easy. And hopefully this is how it's going to be for all the future chapters. And me and my publisher even projected that future chapters would take just about as long, give or take a few days. But neither of us expected chapter 3 to be this long. And it's not like it's horribly past the deadline, but it's taken a lot longer than I anticipated. Following chapter 2, I was feeling myself. I was like, okay, yeah, this is going to be a cakewalk to do chapter 3, 4, 5. I'll get them all done in about a month, try to go faster, all that kind of stuff. But no, it's been about 2 months on chapter 3. And that's because there's just a whole lot more detail in the art. I had to design a completely new character, and then there's details in the background and character expressions that I have to make sure that are just right so that I'm not overselling the story or underselling the emotion of the beat in the story. There's so many things to consider that I actually spent a whole day gathering and collecting reference on Milano. I'm not actually sponsored, but I gathered references on a single image board so that I would have that to reference back and forth when I was penciling. And now that I'm going to the color stage, I'll have that to reference back and forth as well. And this is the thing about being a solo artist. You can't choose to do ambitious things with your storytelling if you're by yourself. I am not going to be the creator of Kingdom and draw entire armies of warring nations fighting each other on horseback. Imagine drawing horses, period. Drawing horses with people with complex armor and swords clashing back and forth. I can't have that idea. I'm not allowed to have that idea. I'm not allowed. I have to have pretty simple ideas that are easier to render and easier to bring to life, that also fit within my sensibilities as a creator and an artist. Because if I decide to go too far outside the scope of a single person's capabilities, then it will take longer to create the story. I will need to hire actual assistants to get the work created in a timely manner. Otherwise, I'd be spending weeks on one page if I were to do a war scene. I can't make something like Vinland Saga. I can't make something like Berserk. I'm limited because I'm just one person at the moment. And that just reminds me, I still have to color this chapter as well, so that's going to be a whole new thing. It would have been nice if I decided to make this story in black and white first and then decide to color it later. That would be nice, but at the same time, webcomics are better colored, and I prefer to color my work as well. So that's just the way it's got to be. But I do notice that throughout this process, I actually am getting better at art because I have so much unbroken time of days spent drawing back to back to back that I'm learning where to take shortcuts, but also how to make them look good. And it's almost as if I'm relearning or actually able to apply things that I learned years and years ago in tutorials in the past. Things such as anatomy problems or perspective problems that just come up. I'm able to actually use them properly and not take shortcuts on those because I know how to actually do it and I can actually apply it to the work. I don't have to fake it or do it really quick or even scrap the idea altogether because I have work in the morning. This is the job. So making the work the best it can be as a solo artist is the only thing I'm concerned with. And even then, I still want to make YouTube videos, make even animations one day, figure out how to use Blender. I want to make a whole bunch of stuff, and I want to see exactly how much I can do on my own before I really need to hire help. But that's pretty much it. If you would like to check out a horror action comedy featuring two best friends, please check out my latest webcomic, Saintly. It is a demon chase horror action comedy about two best friends who have to outrun the demon loan sharks that they borrowed from. Basically, it's like Scooby-Doo meets K-pop demon hunters without the K-pop. And the story backs the main character into a corner where she has to decide between the hard path to success or lose her soul to the lure of easy money. And we get to see the ramifications of her choice and if she can hide this deal with the devil from her friend or if it will tear them apart. And I hope you read my comic in the description and check out the story. It should appear in your email inbox or your spam folder if you don't see it. And that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.